We're going to today talk about adrenaline rush and fear and what that does to you and the after effects, and hopefully we can get to an ATMs. So this is taken from No Nonsense Self-Defense website. And remember, every situation is different and everybody's reaction is going to be different. The adrenaline rush, blood goes to the core, fear makes your brain freeze, panic, tunnel vision. My class experience was when we were in a reality-based scenario. They brought you into a room, your eyes were closed. There was then, when you opened them, you were told that this man was going to attack you, you need to fight. And he was dressed all up in protective gear all the way down. And we had to really fight him, and we were to punch him with our palms. I reverted back to my days of cardio kickboxing and hitting a bag, so I immediately went like this. My hands were getting sore. I had tunnel vision. My hearing was not quite focused at all. I could hear somebody yelling at me, but I didn't know what he was saying or pay attention to him. He was saying, fight with your palms. After my knuckles were getting sore against this mesh that I was fighting, I remembered that I was supposed to be doing this. It was just incredible experience, only because muscle memory is important, and the tunnel vision was very interesting to experience. Let's see, it's a chemical dump. It's not just adrenaline, it's a bunch of hormones also that are going through your body and dumped into your bloodstream. It allows you to get things done and become stronger. The effects of adrenaline dump in response to violence: time distortion. Time slows up or speeds up. This is the proverbial slow motion that is a result of your entire consciousness laser focused on danger. Depth perception, visual distortion. Things appear to be closer or larger than they are. For example, the person waving a knife across the room looks like it's inches away and has suddenly grown 10 feet. And waving a machete in your face. The reason for this distortion is you are tightly focused on the threat. Tunnel vision. Closely related to visual distortion, your peripheral vision can drop all the way and all you see is the threat. So you can't see anything here, like I can see my hand here. You can't see anything. It's total tunnel vision. Auditory exclusion. Your hearing can just go away because every brain cell has you focused in on the threat, to the point you often won't hear gunshots going within just a few feet of you. And interesting, one scenario I had read about, well, I saw, and it was just a practice scenario, was a gal had just shot in self-defense a man. He's laying on the floor, but he's still moving, so she still has her firearm focused on him, but she's so focused she doesn't hear the police coming up, the siren. She doesn't hear the police yelling, put down your gun, put down your gun. Well, if you don't hear the police yelling at you, put down your gun, who are they going to shoot? Because you just shot a man, they're going to assuming you're the bad guy. So it's sometimes not good. So you need, after the fact, hopefully you can pay attention to other things. Pain tolerance. You don't feel things that you would normally because cause you to squeal in pain. The damage is still done to you, but you don't necessarily feel it, of course, until maybe the day after. Speed and strength increase. Under adrenaline, you can do amazing feats of strength and speed. Unfortunately, this doesn't make you invincible. While we always hear stories of mothers lifting cars off their children are true, but you don't hear the fact that they tore muscles, tendons, and ruined their backs doing it. Fine motor decay. When you will be able to run faster than ever before, forget twirling a quarter in your fingers. Trembling is also common. This is why reloading a revolver under fire is harder than the larger, less precise actions of reloading an automatic pistol. Changes in your blood flow, heartbeat, respiration, obviously that's going to be all heightened. So changes in respiratory rate, obviously. Let's see. Unconscious muscle tension. Some muscles will clench up, others will relax, and you have ache in places you won't even know you had. Let's see. Mono-emotional detachment. Usually there'll be one overwhelming emotion blocking another emotion out, fear or anger. However, the reverse can also be true. There can be a sense of emotional detachment as the body functions to achieve an end. There is more common among individuals experiencing and operating in crisis. Bowel and bladder release. Although not exactly adrenaline response, your body is jettisoning extra weight is common while facing danger and adrenaline. I hope that doesn't happen. All right, post-adrenal side effects. While most people are concerned about they happen during adrenalized moment, having a member of life and death situations, I'd like to inform you about the aftermath. Again, like effects of the emotions above, until everyone has the same reaction and degrees of someone else. You might experience nausea right after. If you are done with the event and the police are called and all of a sudden your body has a time to adjust, you could vomit. Your muscles will ache. You have hypomania. Remember what I said about the adrenaline is still in your system. After the incident, the adrenaline just doesn't go away. It presents and manifests itself in different ways. That some people get the jitters, fidget, pace, rapidly babble. Some will yell, shout, some will even, as part of the winding down process. I personally would probably be crying hysterically. All right, then you have a crash, exhaustion. After running a high octane for such a long time, there is a crash. You'll come down, you'll be exhausted. Bad dreams, restless sleep, you'll probably have a little bit of PTSD, a post-traumatic stress. You experienced a traumatic event. Some people go into a deep, exhausted, dreamless state. Others will toss and turn night after violence. These people often report weird or bad dreams. And then it's not uncommon that anywhere between 24 and 48 hours after the incident that you'll suddenly and unexpectedly find yourself in the middle of an adrenaline rush. This may be triggered by small incident or may just come out of nowhere. Generally, it is best to ride it through and let it pass. Let's talk about fear. Fear is good. You don't want to get rid of it. It's part of the God-given reaction we have to danger to keep us safe. So, how do you handle it? That's kind of what is the problem, I think. Let's see. We have a saying, the difference between fear and panic is knowing what to do. This is why I'm always saying you need to practice. You need to have situations in your head, practice them and over and over and over again mentally, and then do some things physically that you can do. That way you have muscle memory. If you have a reliable, effective solution, then fear is your asset. If you do not, fear makes you just act. Do it, or say, what? Right, try that again. If you have a reliable, effective solution, then fear is an asset. You know what to do, and fear just makes you do it better. On the other hand, if you don't know what to do, or don't trust that you know what to do, then you will freeze in terror. You do this because you have no clear goal of getting away. So remember this very important distinction. Fear helps, panic hinders. Fear is your savior, panic is your enemy. Oh, I haven't got time. Yes. Okay, so that's on adrenaline and fear, and that's what happens to your body in case of a moment. So during this moment, you want to be able to react. You want fear to turn into action. And the only way that it can do that is if you have prepared your mind already. This is not going to make you a bad person when you start thinking about scenarios. It's better to do that because, look, we have crime rising and rising all the time, especially crime on people. So I'm going to let you see a video about crime on people. Pay attention to the lady that wouldn't let go of her purse. So here's the video. I feel sorry for them, but she didn't want to give up her purse, so she probably ended up going to the hospital. Hospital's going to cost in the emergency room a lot more than probably what was in her purse. She should have just gave it up. He would have left them, and she would have not been beaten. So I'm hoping they're okay. I'm assuming that they're okay. So anyway, we're going to talk about the safety of ATMs. Don't go to ATMs at 10 or 15 at night and take cash. I don't know why they needed cash at night. Keep cash at home, extra cash at home, so in case you need cash. So ATMs, they did it at 10:15 at night, which is not probably a good time to do it. Remember, nothing good happens after dark. Awareness, they weren't paying attention to their surroundings. They didn't have any defense tools on them, which we get to talk about next time. So pay attention to your surroundings during the whole transaction. Cover up your PIN number, look around, okay? Anything looks unusual if you go there a lot, if there's anything unusual looking, because there could be card readers, what they do is they pop off they can pop off the top part and put theirs on, and it kind of looks the same. So you don't know if there's one there. Don't select an ATM by a corner of a building. This creates a blind spot. Do it in a well-lit, free from bushes, decorative partitions, or dividers. And beware of somebody trying to help you. I don't need any help. And besides that, I would probably leave if there was somebody there trying to help me. Beware of somebody sitting in a parking lot car or hanging around. Don't go in there if they're hanging around. Don't go in there if somebody in there. Do not count your money by the ATM. Go to your car, go to a secure parking place or someplace else. Do not re-enter your PIN if the ATM eats your card. I didn't know they did that. If you notice something different, don't use the ATM. Don't wear expensive jewelry or other valuables. That's the key thing for an individual. Oh, they're rich. Prepare all transactions papers prior to going. This will minimize the amount of time spent at the ATM. Make sure you're not being followed after you get into your car. If you are, drive to a public area, fire station, police station. I'd be blaring my horn. Now, the biggest thing is, don't use an ATM. We don't use an ATM. Don't use an ATM. Keep some cash at home. Keep some cash, $20, $40 in your top drawer, because that's where the burglars look first. Why do I say keep it in? Because then they're going to think they got money, and it might not look anywhere else. Then hide some of your other money someplace else. All right, and remember where you hid it. But, you should keep some extra cash at home. Okay, so courage, I got a couple quotes here. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear. And that's by Amorose Redmoon. Another one is, you can prevent your opponent from defeating through defense, but you cannot defeat him without taking the offense. That's by Sun Tzu. It's a cute video only because that third gal, you go girl, you did the right thing because you were assaulted. They basically were assaulted and they didn't appreciate it. And some people I know, I can hear some moms say, well, boys will be boys. That's assault, and no, they should not treat women like that. That's disrespectful for women. So be safe, be alert, check those surroundings, and keep practicing.